day, subscribers. Thank you so much for joining me today. I am Jeremy. This is the Financial Education Channel, and today we are talking about my biggest financial mistakes of my life. The 5 biggest financial mistakes I've ever made in my life, guys. I'm going to share those with you today. I mean, I shouldn't say I love, but I enjoy actually sharing some of my biggest financial mistakes with you guys, because if you show me somebody that has never made a financial mistake in their life, I'm going to show you someone that's probably never done anything financially in their life. It doesn't matter who you're talking about. If you're talking about a business god like a Steve Jobs, he's made financial mistakes. If you're talking about an investing god like Warren Buffett, he's made plenty of mistakes over time. Anybody who's ever done anything truly in this world, as far as starting businesses, as far as making investments, things like that, they've always made some mistakes along the way. They've either made that stock that was the wrong investment and it went down or whatever. They either started that business and it failed. They either were supposed to go this way with their business and they went a different way, which was the wrong way. There's everybody that's ever done anything in this world, as far as that goes, guys, they've all made mistakes, including myself. I'm 27 years old and I've made a lot of financial W's in my life. I've also taken a lot of financial L's in my life. So I'm going to share with you guys the 5 biggest. I'm also going to share with you a couple honorable mentions that almost made the list. They just didn't quite do it, guys. Every single one of these financial mistakes, by the way, they are all 5-figure or 6-figure financial mistakes. So we're not talking about small amounts of money here. Every single one of these is a lot of money up for stakes, guys. So I hope you guys enjoy this today. Leave a thumbs up if you do. Leave me any comments if you enjoy this, guys. So let's get into this. So number 5, my least bad financial mistake ever. This is really bad. My least bad of the 5 is I sold Facebook for $23 a share in 2012. For those of you guys who do not know, Facebook now, about 5 years later, is around roughly $140 a share. So what happened with Facebook is Facebook came public, right? It was a $38 IPO range. That's where they IPO'd at. Over the next 6 months, Facebook stock dropped by 50%. It dropped to the $19 range. I saw it in this range and I started buying in, not right at its lows, which I think it actually bottomed out at 18 something. I started buying right around $20. And I understood parts of Facebook's business model and why things would work. I also didn't fully understand. It wasn't fully in my circle of competence at that time like it is now, for instance. So I held Facebook for a little while. It went down a bit, then it went up a bit, and it went up to like $23 a share. And I sold out 100% of my position. The reason being is I just didn't quite fully understand the business. Maybe I just didn't work hard enough at really understanding the business. Maybe I just didn't have the vision at that time, but I sold out of Facebook. I made a very small profit. And boy, I wish I still had those shares, guys. I do not remember. I could always look back. I do not remember how many shares I had in Facebook, but it was a considerable amount. And it's a huge mistake, obviously. I mean, $23 a share versus $140 a few years later. Big financial mistake there, guys. So that's the least bad of the 5. Number 4, the 4th biggest financial mistake I ever made, was I invested in a company named Pandora around the same time. It was like maybe 2011, 2012, 2013. Pandora, if you guys don't know, it's an internet radio music station. You know, you can pull it up on your iPad. I got the app on my iPad. I listen to it almost every day or every other day, whatever. So Pandora, that was another troubled IPO stock. It IPO'd and then it went down 50+%, guys. So I saw it around an $8 range. And I started buying in around $8. And then it actually went up a little bit after I got my position. It went up to like $9.50. Then it dropped below 8. Then it dropped to the 7. So then I was actually down on the position. And I held this stock for 9 to 12 months, I would say. And there was so much negativity about it coming out. And everybody's saying, you know, Apple was going to wipe them out and this and that. It was just a lot of negativity. And the shares would kind of trade up to 8 and then they'd trade back to 7. Finally, I just got fed up with the stock after being in it for about 9 to 12 months, and I sold off. I sold off for my original price, $8 per share. Didn't lose any money, didn't make any money, but at the same time, the stock market was actually doing good during that time, and a lot of the other stocks I held were doing good at that time, so I actually could have made a lot of money if I had had the money allocated somewhere else. But that's not the worst part. 1 year and a half later, 18 months later, Pandora stock was $43 per share. A year and a half later, $43 per share. And I sold out for $8, guys. I sold out for $8. Imagine if I just held. Imagine if I could have sold out at $24 and still tripled up my money. I could have sold out at $32 and did a quadruple. I could have sold out at $42. Oh my gosh, I could have sold out any other time than when I sold out. Would have been a great time to sell at Pandora. Now, by the way, Pandora's, for you guys that don't know, it's like around a $13 stock currently, by the way. So it's not like it's still way up there or something. It jumped up over the next year and a half up to that price. And then once it hit $43, it started climbing back down. And the next thing you know, it was in the 20s, and now it's in the teens again. So, but regardless, I could have made a ridiculous profit if I had just stuck with it, and I didn't. And it was a huge, I mean, from $8 to $43 in a year and a half, and I missed out on that gain. Oh, yeah. So that's the fourth biggest mistake I ever made financially. The third biggest mistake I ever made financially, and this one is debatable, and this one's controversial, but it's GoPro. Now, this doesn't mean I'm not bullish in GoPro and I'm selling any shares, because I'm not. I want to make that very clear. But I must acknowledge that I'm in down huge on GoPro position. I'm down over 40% on my GoPro shares since I started buying into GoPro stock. I invested a year too early. I started buying the stock really in 2016. It was around March 1st, 2016 is when I really started getting involved with it. At that time, GoPro was, I don't know, $12, $13 a share. And now it's 7 something a share. So I'm down probably 40% plus, guys, right as of I'm doing this video. If you're watching in months in the future, who knows what will happen to the price in the future. But regardless, I bought into this one way too soon. I bought in, and this is why investing in life in general, sometimes you need not necessarily to have good luck, you need to just like avoid bad luck. With GoPro, I saw a company that they had their new flagship camera coming out in a few months. You know, they had a drone coming out, a lot of great things. And then they botched the camera launch. They didn't get nearly enough out, so they couldn't get the marketing units out. They didn't get the drone out in time. And then they had to have a recall on the drone, which killed the stock even further. So a lot of it's just some bad fortune. But at the same time, regardless, I got to acknowledge it's a huge financial mistake. I'm down, I don't know, tens of thousands of dollars on my GoPro options, on GoPro shares, across the board. When you're down 40% on a position, and that's your biggest position, it's not a good thing. So that's my third biggest financial mistake I've ever made. And even if it comes back, say it's at $16 next year or $26 next year or whatever, we still got to acknowledge that I got in it too soon. I should have waited till 2017 to start buying in if it does come back. So that's my third biggest financial mistake. My second biggest financial mistake ever was taking a year and a half off from work. Now, this was a great thing for me because I really needed to recharge my batteries. I'd just been going hard for so long, and I wanted to enjoy my son's first year of life. I had saved enough money, but regardless of all that beauty and whatnot in it, we've got to acknowledge the fact that I missed out on a year and a half of, I mean, if I just continue working my job at Quick Trip like I was working, I was making 60-something thousand a year. So we got to acknowledge that I could have made all that money for that time. I could have been investing that money, and maybe I wouldn't have got caught into some of the things I'm talking about. And actually my biggest financial mistake we're going to talk about in just a minute, maybe I wouldn't have got caught up in some of those things. So if I just kept working, obviously, financially, I would have been much better off. Now, at the same time, I didn't even have to maybe start, I have the real estate marketing company where I do photography, videography, advertising for, realtors and all that kind of stuff. Say I didn't even start that. Say I just started this channel back then. 18 months extra of this channel out there, 18 months of extra content. In a matter of 14 months, we've grown this channel from 0 subscribers to 25,000 subscribers. If I had an extra 18 months in this channel, we'd probably be at 60,000 subscribers, maybe 75,000 subscribers, maybe 100,000 subscribers. I can already make just a living off of just this channel and support my family and everything. I don't even have to have any other businesses. I can just run this channel and make a living. Imagine how well off I would be if I'd done this 18 months previous, and how many subscribers I would have now, how many views we'd be getting, and things like that, guys. Instead of right now, a video within the first 24 hours, it'll get like maybe 2,000 views, right? Right now, they would probably be getting 8,000, 10,000 views in the first 24 hours. The good videos I do, like the 3 stocks I'm buying, the ones that are super popular, those ones do like 20,000 views within the first month. Right now, I mean, if I'd started this 18 months sooner, who knows? Those videos might be at 80,000 views. They might be at 100,000 views in the first month, guys, getting ridiculous amounts of views. So taking a year and a half off, it was a great thing for me. I really needed to recharge my batteries, but at the same time, it was not good financially. And it led to my number one biggest financial mistake ever in my life, which was short-term trading on heavy margin. I left my company. I had no income, zero income. I only had my investing account, and I thought I could make a living just off of investing. Well, I began to get paranoid that maybe I couldn't do it. I began to get paranoid. And so what I started to do is I started like scrambling around. I'm like, I need more money to invest. So I can make sure I can get these gains and things like that. And I don't ever have to work again. So I began to then leverage. I began to open a margin account and start investing heavy in margin. And then I began to change my entire investing philosophy. Instead of thinking longer term out, like thinking years out, I would start investing in companies quarter by quarter. Depending on their quarterly reports are coming out. Oh, their quarterly report's coming out tomorrow. They're going to beat numbers. Because I have a pretty good insight, especially in certain industries, if a company's going to beat numbers or miss numbers. And I would invest mass amounts of money. We're talking $100,000, $200,000 in an earnings call. And then guess what? Most of the time I was right about those calls, and sometimes the stocks went down. And I would lose $20,000, $30,000 in a day. In a day, guys. By far the biggest investing mistake I ever made in my life. I lost way more money than I made when I was short-term trading. And I slowly realized I'm not a short-term trader. It's not my personality. It's not what I'm good at. I need to focus on what has actually made me money over time, which is longer-term investing and modern long-term investing, thinking at least a year out, if not thinking more toward 3 years out plus, guys. That's what I do. That's what I do best. So that is by far my biggest financial mistake. Trading on margin, doing short-term trading. Oh my gosh. And then I paid thousands and thousands of dollars in interest. So not only was I losing more money than I was gaining, but then I was paying thousands of dollars in interest to my company that, was basically loaning out the margin money. So, it's ugly, guys. It's ugly. So, a couple honorable mentions. I didn't quite make the list, but a couple other financial mistakes I made in my time. Not buying a house. I haven't bought a house yet. I will be buying a house this upcoming year, but I have not bought a house yet to this time. I paid over $50,000 in rent in the last 5 years, guys. Over $50,000. That $50,000 could have gone to a house, could have gone to a nice down payment, could have gone toward a mortgage, something I actually have equity in, rather than just rent, which is money I'll never see. That money's just disappeared. That money's just gone. That's over $50,000 I paid in rent in the last 5 years that I'll never see a dime of. I'll never see a dime. I have no equity in that. That money's it's just gone, guys. It's gone. It's never coming back. So not buying a house, financial mistake. The other honorable mention I had was only having one income source up until 2016. Up until 2016, in all my years, well, obviously I took a year and a half off, but even prior to that, I only had one income source. It was my job. I think when you only have one income source, I think it's a mistake, guys, because you have nothing to fall back on. What if the economy goes sour and you lose your job? What if that happens? What if, suddenly your pay's decreased at your job? What if you could be making a lot more money if you start a little side business plus having your normal job? So only having one income source, big mistake, guys. I now have, I think, 3 or 4 income sources. I have my business, right? Photo and video business. I have a consulting business that is slowly starting up that I'm probably going to actually really go hard on coming this summer. I get money from that. I get money from Google, from the ads that are shown on this actual channel. I get money from Amazon for the Amazon links that are in this channel. And then we have the book coming out soon. I'm going to have, I don't know if that book's going to do great, and I'm making, ridiculous amounts of money on that, and, thousands of you guys are buying that, or I don't know if maybe 100 of you guys are buying that, and who knows? But that will certainly be some kind of income. I don't know. It could be tens of thousands of dollars a year. It could be $1,000 a year. I have no clue. But regardless, somebody will buy it, and people will buy it, and I'll get some income from that. So I'll basically, I'm going to have 5 income sources. 5 income sources. Money coming from a lot of different directions. So if one thing slows down, let's say my photo and video business slows down, then I have this channel. I have the money I make from this channel. I have book sales, things like that. If, let's say, this channel has a bad month and the views are down, which has never happened ever in this channel's history and probably never will happen, well, eventually the law of large numbers will catch up to the channel and we'll have a bad month. But let's say it did happen. A bad month happens, right? Well, I have my photo and video business over here that I could spend more time allocating and talking to customers and doing plans that I haven't even done with them yet. So I have a lot of different income coming from a lot of different ways, guys. And I think in your life, even if you have a good job, think about, how could I get another income stream? What could I do? Could I be a reseller on eBay or something like that? Can I be a creator? Can I do something on social media? Maybe you're a very inspirational person. Maybe you could do something on social media. What can you do that you can get a second income stream even if you have a good job? And then if you don't have a good job and you're not making a lot of money, then you sure as shit need to start making money some other way. You need to start getting more income at the bottom line, guys. So here's the other financial mistake. I hope I shared that with you guys. And that gives you, this video right here gives you an extremely in-depth look at my financial life and all the mistakes I made. I gave you a lot of my current financial situation and how, I have incomes coming from a lot of different places and things like that. But I hope you guys enjoyed this today. I enjoy sharing it. I literally do. I really enjoy sharing the fact of financial mistakes. If you're just paying attention only to someone that's maybe just talking about good things they've done, be suspicious of that person. They're either a liar or they haven't done shit in this world yet. Bottom line, guys, have a good day.